The story begins on a ship where several people are traveling. Among them is a young girl named Amy who is feeling sad because it is her birthday and she thinks her father, John, did not bring her a gift. A few moments later, John comes to her and gives her a walkie-talkie as a birthday present. Amy immediately cheers up and becomes very happy. At the same time, people on the ship start shouting excitedly after spotting dolphins jumping out of the ocean. Everyone enjoys the beautiful sight, unaware that the dolphins are actually fleeing from danger. Deep beneath the water, a giant sea monster is chasing them. Nobody on the ship notices the threat until it is too late. Suddenly, the monster rises from the ocean and attacks the ship. The impact flips the entire vessel, throwing everyone into the water. The survivors manage to swim to a nearby deserted island. There is no mobile signal on the island, making it impossible to call for help. John is found unconscious on the shore. After waking up, the first thing he does is search for Amy, but she is nowhere to be seen. Then he hears her voice through the walkie-talkie. However, the signal cuts off after a few seconds. While looking for her, John comes across a group of survivors from the ship. Among them, he finally spots Amy. Relieved to see her alive, he starts running toward her, but a man suddenly stops him and points ahead. When John looks, he is shocked to see a gigantic snake-like monster standing nearby, the same creature that attacked their ship. Terrified, the survivors try to run away, but the monster attacks them and begins swallowing people alive one after another. Seeing his daughter in danger, John rushes forward to save her. However, another man holds him back, knowing that going closer would only get him killed. John struggles to break free and begs to save Amy, but the man tells him that it is already too late. Moments later, the giant snake swallows Amy alive. It also devours several other survivors before disappearing into the jungle. After watching his daughter get eaten right in front of him, John is completely devastated. John breaks down in tears because he could not save his daughter, but then he suddenly hears Amy's voice through the walkie-talkie. Realizing she is still alive inside the snake, John decides that no matter what happens, he will bring her back. As John heads toward the jungle, a man named Jack volunteers to go with him. A few other survivors also agree to join them. The remaining people try to stop them, warning that the jungle is extremely dangerous and that nobody who enters will return alive. But John ignores them and continues his search for Amy. The people left behind think John and the others are making a huge mistake. However, they soon learn that staying outside is not safe either. Suddenly, one of their companions is grabbed by something strange and dragged into the jungle. Panic spreads and everyone starts running. Meanwhile, the giant snake returns to its nest in the middle of the jungle. There, it regurgitates the people it swallowed and drops them into a deep pit. After that, the snake leaves again to search for more food. It is then revealed that the creature is actually a female snake. The pit contains many of her eggs, showing that she has been collecting live humans as food for her offspring. After the snake leaves, the trapped survivors regain consciousness. Amy is among them and is still alive.
The ship's captain starts looking for a way out, but he quickly realizes escape will not be easy. The pit is extremely deep, surrounded by dense jungle on all sides. Soon, everyone notices the snake eggs nearby. As the captain moves toward them, Amy warns him not to touch them. She fears that if the eggs hatch, the baby snakes could kill them all. However, a businessman named Young disagrees. He believes the eggs are still fresh and says that breaking them now will prevent the baby snakes from being born. He picks up a rock and smashes one of the eggs. To everyone's shock, a baby snake immediately crawls out of the broken shell. The survivors panic. Everyone quickly hides behind a large rock. Soon, the baby snake notices an injured girl who cannot run because of her wounds. It rushes toward her and devours her. Meanwhile, in the jungle, John, Jack, and the others continue following the giant snake's trail. They still have not found either the snake or the people it swallowed, but they refuse to give up. After hours of walking, they arrive at an old facility. Inside, they find scattered equipment, chemical containers, and the skeleton of a soldier. It becomes clear that something terrible happened there. As they search the building, they discover books and files. From these documents, they learn that the place was not a factory, but an experimental laboratory. The group realizes that the island is far more dangerous than they imagined. Not only the animals, but even the plants have become deadly. After leaving the laboratory, they stop in the jungle to rest. John cuts a piece of wood from a nearby tree, and a black liquid immediately starts leaking out of it. At the same time, one of the survivors lights a match for a cigarette. By accident, the burning match falls onto the black liquid, causing a sudden burst of fire. The group manages to put it out, but they learn that the liquid is highly flammable. Although the fire is gone, the smoke begins affecting John. He becomes dizzy and starts seeing strange visions. He imagines his companions staring and laughing at him. Then he hears Amy's voice saying that he failed to save her. A moment later, John sees the giant snake approaching him. The creature wraps around him and he starts screaming in terror. Suddenly, Jack throws water on his face, bringing him back to reality. John realizes that the snake was never there. Everything was a hallucination caused by the smoke from the black liquid. As the group looks around, they notice that several survivors have been caught by the branches of a nearby tree. The tree is trying to pull them closer. They quickly realize this is no ordinary tree. John and Jack manage to free some of the trapped survivors, but one man has been caught for too long and does not survive. Terrified, the group watches as the tree stretches its branches toward them as well. They escape just in time and continue deeper into the jungle. Elsewhere, at the snake's nest, the businessman, Young, kills the baby snake. Afterwards, he starts arguing with the ship's captain, blaming him for everything. Young claims that if the captain had not brought the ship near the island, none of them would be trapped in this nightmare.
Seeing the argument, a woman named Susie steps in and stops them. She tells them that fighting each other will not solve anything. If they want to survive, they need to work together and find a way out of the island. Meanwhile, John, Jack, and the others continue searching for the people trapped in the snake's nest. After walking for hours, the group becomes exhausted. One of the survivors goes to a nearby river to collect water. While filling a container, he starts hearing a strange sound. He cannot figure out where it is coming from. Suddenly, a flying fish lands beside him. The creature has large, sharp teeth and looks terrifying. Before he can react, it attacks him. He manages to grab it and throw it back into the river before running toward his companions. The strange sound quickly grows louder. The survivor realizes that more of these creatures are coming. Moments later, dozens of flying fish emerge from a thick white fog and begin chasing the group. Everyone understands that if the fish catch them, they will be torn apart. They immediately start running. The fish are incredibly fast, forcing the survivors to hide behind trees. Then Jack notices something important. The fish seem to be moving together with the white fog. He quickly tells everyone to get out of the fog as fast as possible. The group runs with all their strength and finally escapes the fog. As soon as they leave it behind, the danger disappears. The fish that follow them out of the fog fall to the ground, struggle for a few moments, and die. However, their problems are far from over. Soon, Jack notices enormous footprints on the ground. The tracks are so large that everyone realizes another giant creature must be nearby. Just then, a white liquid suddenly drips onto one survivor's shirt from above. When he looks up, he sees a strange monster sitting in a tree. The sight terrifies the group. One man is about to throw a rock at the creature when a long red tongue suddenly shoots out from nowhere and snatches the monster in a single bite. It is the same mysterious tongue that appeared earlier in the story. A second later, a gigantic creature leaps out and lands in front of them. The survivors are shocked to discover that it is a massive frog-like monster, another result of the island's experiments. Seeing the giant frog, everyone runs for their lives. However, the monster shoots out its long tongue and grabs an elderly man, pulling him closer. The old man quickly grabs a tree to stop himself from being dragged away. The others rush to help and start pulling him back. Even with everyone working together, they struggle against the creature's immense strength. At the last moment, Jack runs forward and throws a sharp weapon at the monster. The weapon strikes its eye, causing it to release the old man in pain. The survivors immediately take the opportunity to escape and run deeper into the jungle. But the giant frog refuses to give up. With a single leap, it covers more distance than the group can run in several minutes.
Just as the monster is about to catch them, the giant snake suddenly appears. It snatches the frog out of the air and swallows it whole.
The group is saved from the frog, but now they're facing an even greater threat. The giant snake notices them and starts chasing them. Jack, John, and another survivor manage to get ahead, but the elderly man and a younger survivor fall behind because they cannot run as fast. The snake goes straight after them and is about to attack when it gets stuck between a cluster of trees. Unable to reach them, it tries to force its way through by smashing the trees. At that moment, another survivor steps in to help. He throws a coconut at the snake to distract it. The hit angers the creature, causing it to abandon its original targets and chase him instead. The survivor runs as fast as he can and eventually hides behind a tree. The snake loses sight of him, allowing him to survive. The creature then resumes its search for the elderly man and the younger survivor. The old man successfully hides behind a tree, but the younger survivor is spotted. The snake moves in and devours him. Afterward, the giant snake continues hunting the remaining survivors. Realizing that it will never stop chasing them, the group desperately searches for a way to escape. With no other option, they jump into a filthy drainage canal and hide underwater while holding their breath. A short time later, the giant snake arrives and searches the area. Fortunately, it fails to find them and eventually leaves. Elsewhere, at the snake's nest, the businessman Yang is still looking for a way out of the pit, but he cannot find one. Then, the ground suddenly starts shaking. The trapped survivors immediately realize what it means. The giant snake is returning. As the ground shakes, everyone in the pit lies down and pretends to be dead. When the giant snake returns, it believes they are lifeless and ignores them. The snake then spits another captured person into the pit so its babies can feed on them later. However, it soon notices its dead baby, the one Young killed earlier. Enraged, the giant snake leaves the nest and heads back into the jungle, believing that the people outside are responsible for its baby's death. As soon as the snake is gone, the trapped survivors try to find a way out, but then the remaining eggs begin to shake. Everyone realizes that more baby snakes are about to hatch. Panic spreads, and the survivors try to get away. Amy, however, stays near the eggs. Soon, one of the eggs cracks open, and a baby snake emerges. Instead of running, Amy carefully approaches it and gently places her hand on its head. She makes the creature feel safe rather than threatened. The baby snake does not attack her. Instead, it begins treating Amy like its mother. Earlier, Amy had read that if a baby snake does not see its real mother after hatching, it may bond with the first living creature it encounters. That is exactly what happens. Not long afterward, the baby snake moves toward the other survivors and kills one of them. Meanwhile, the businessman Young manages to climb out of the pit. The people below beg him for help, but he refuses to assist anyone. Thinking only about himself, he leaves them behind and escapes alone. Elsewhere, John, Jack, and the others continue through the jungle and eventually reach an old house. They begin searching the place for useful supplies. Soon, a man comes running towards them. It turns out to be Young. The group immediately asks about the survivors trapped in the pit. John desperately asks about Amy, but Young lies and claims that nobody survived except him. Hearing this, John is devastated. He believes he has lost his daughter forever.
That night, the group stays in the old house. The next morning, they wake up to the sound of a helicopter. Excited, Young runs outside and starts waving for help. Unfortunately, the helicopter is too far away to notice them and soon disappears. Back inside the house, John sits quietly, mourning his daughter. Then, suddenly, Amy's voice comes through the walkie-talkie once again. The moment he hears her, John realizes that Young was lying. Amy is still alive. Filled with hope, John rushes to the others and tells them that his daughter and several other people are still trapped and need help. Trying to protect his lie, Young claims that John has lost his mind and that nobody is alive down there. At first, the others think John is simply struggling with grief and refuse to believe him. But then, Amy's voice comes through the walkie-talkie again. This time, everyone hears it. Now, the group finally knows that survivors are still alive inside the pit. Now that Young's lie has been exposed, he knows the others will never trust him again. So he runs away into the jungle. After a while, he reaches an open area and spots a helicopter flying in the distance. Excited, Young starts waving his arms and signaling for help. The helicopter begins moving closer, but before it can reach him, the giant snake suddenly appears. In a single attack, it grabs the helicopter out of the air and swallows it. Young watches in horror as his last hope of rescue disappears. Meanwhile, John is still searching for his daughter. Through the walkie-talkie, he finally manages to speak with Amy again. Susie takes the device and tells John that they are trapped inside a deep pit in the middle of the jungle. Hearing this, John immediately starts searching for the pit. Since the signal is now much clearer, he realizes that Amy must be nearby. Back at the pit, Amy and Susie are still trapped. By now, all the remaining eggs have hatched and the baby snakes begin moving toward them. However, the first baby snake that hatched steps in front of the others and refuses to let the other snakes harm her. A short time later, Amy hears John's voice calling for her. She shouts back as loudly as she can. John follows her voice and eventually reaches the pit. Seeing his daughter alive fills him with relief, but the danger is far from over. The baby snakes are now only moments away from reaching them. John quickly breaks off a large tree root and lowers it into the pit, trying to pull the girls to safety. At that moment, the giant snake arrives. Furious and aggressive, it prepares to attack John. Before it can strike, one of the survivors hits the snake's eye with a sharp tool. The creature recoils in pain, giving John a chance to continue the rescue. Even so, pulling both girls up alone is extremely difficult. The baby snakes are now only moments away from reaching them. Then the ship's captain steps forward and helps without hesitation. He manages to get Amy and Susie safely out of the pit. However, he is left behind.
The baby snakes immediately swarm him, and the captain sacrifices his life to save the two girls. John is overjoyed to have Amy back, but their relief is short-lived. The giant snake recovers and starts moving toward them again. The group runs for their lives. Meanwhile, Young accidentally slips and falls back into the same pit he had worked so hard to escape from. As soon as he lands, the baby snakes attack him and kill him. Elsewhere, the remaining survivors continue fleeing through the jungle while the giant snake chases them relentlessly. Realizing they cannot outrun it together, Jack tells everyone to split up and run in different directions. If they stay together, the snake could catch all of them at once. The group agrees and scatters. Unfortunately, Amy runs the wrong way. She heads directly toward the path of the giant snake. Jack shouts at her to turn around and run the other way, but it is already too late. The snake rushes forward and swallows Amy alive once again. Seeing this happen, John is overwhelmed with grief and rage. John completely loses control after seeing Amy swallowed again. Without caring about his own life, he charges toward the giant snake. Amy is his entire world, and he refuses to give up on her. The snake is about to attack John when Jack arrives carrying a burning piece of wood. He realizes that if the monster is not killed, nobody will ever escape the island alive. Then Jack remembers the black liquid they discovered earlier, the one that catches fire instantly. Waving the burning wood, Jack grabs the snake's attention and leads it away from John. He runs toward the area where the black liquid leaked from the trees. As soon as the snake reaches the spot, Jack throws the burning wood into the liquid. A massive fire erupts instantly. The flames spread across the snake's body, setting the entire creature ablaze. The giant monster thrashes around in pain and desperately tries to escape, but the fire continues to spread. Within moments, the enormous snake is completely engulfed in flames and finally dies. After the snake is defeated, the survivors force open its mouth and pull Amy out. However, Amy is unconscious and shows no response. Everyone fears that she is dead. John refuses to accept it. He keeps trying to wake her up and refuses to give up hope. After a tense moment, Amy finally regains consciousness. Seeing his daughter alive again fills John with relief and happiness. And with that, the story of Snake Cave comes to an end. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie stories. See you in the next video.